everyone, Tanya here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video showing you our garden for this year. I have a video of this from last year as well. If you're interested in seeing the difference between last year and this year, I will have the video linked up in the cards, I think, or in the description down below somewhere. So feel free to check that out if you want to see the difference. And also I'll be sharing some tips just for helping what we personally have done to help make gardening easier just in life, and also affordable and a little easier on your budget as well. So I just wanted to share some tips, and then I will take you guys out and show you our garden and our herbs as well. That I have is start early. And that means, for example, whether it's planning, thinking what plants you're going to use, what vegetables, fruits, flowers, etc., whatever kind of gardening that you have, planning out the space, planning out how you're going to do it. It takes actually a lot of time and a lot of effort, because you have to make sure that you're planting the correct plants next to other plants, etc. And I'm by no means a garden expert, but those are just things that we've been gardening for a while, so those are things that we have found work really well for us. So first of all, just starting thinking and planning ahead early. Another thing is, part of planning early is figuring out what seeds, if you're going to be going from seeds, figuring out if you want to start with seeds or if you're going to do like starter plants, figuring that out, and then finding where you're going to get your seeds, whether it's like a nursery or a local store, whatever, or you know, how figuring all that out, all those steps. And then the next thing I was going to say is, for number two, what I recommend, what you will see in our garden, we have done a lot of, is if you are somewhere where maybe the climate, we live in Minnesota, so our climate can vary very quickly, and we sometimes get a lot of cold for a long time. So for us, gardening really is a short span. Like, we really have to make the best of it. And we have had some plants that they never made it to the harvest, because by the time they're almost ready, it starts getting cold. So we actually, something that we have done is, for a lot of our plants, we get them as starter plants, because that helps kind of speed up the process for us to get to the harvest. Again, we have some plants that we're doing from seeds, ones that are kind of more like an early harvest plant, and then others that are starters. And so that's another tip, is if you are also, maybe if you're new to gardening, you're kind of worried about not having a green thumb, you know, and you're worried that you're gonna kill some plants or whatnot, you're kind of nervous about seeds, just try starter plants, because they're, especially for herbs and things, that's what I did. I'll be showing you in a little bit my herb little garden. That's what I did, is I actually got all starters for my herbs, and it's so much easier for me, it's less hassle, I like it a lot better. So that's another tip that I would recommend if you want to try it out. The next tip I would say is, and you'll see again in our garden, what I did is number three, is to use straw. This, I guess, again, there's lots of different gardens and lots of different techniques used, but we use straw to help manage our garden, especially with weeds, and because weeding is such a huge problem, if you know, in a garden. Like, it's just a never-ending job, and so it really helps to kind of tame that down and to make it a little easier for us in our lives to have that straw. This is, I believe, our second year using the straw method, and we made it even a little bit better this year. And so you'll be seeing that, by just using that straw really helps to help control those weeds so that they don't take over the garden. Okay, now finally I want to share some thrifty tips that, you know, on my channel I've always got to share some thrifty tips for you guys, and how you can save money even when it comes to gardening, because gardens alone are awesome, because it helps save money, especially if you're doing a vegetable garden on produce, and if you do a garden in an organic way, that's really awesome too. But some thrifty tips that I would recommend is, one, some plants, for example, like our chives and a lot of herbs and things of that, can be separated and into multiple plants. So if you have neighbors or friends or family, especially if you're just starting out, and if they're separating their plants, feel free, you know, if they're giving them away, I know a lot of our friends do that, or you know, even if they do sell them for a little bit cheaper, but feel free and take those, because it's not only is a great way to just spread out the plants, but a lot of times you can get them for free. It's really great for your garden, and it's a thrifty tip. It doesn't have to always be expensive. Another tip that I have for you is looking into smaller nurseries or like garden stores. Sometimes we have like a local, for example, like where we got some of our straw is actually like a local little garden center that's just in our city. Like an elderly gentleman kind of has it up and running, and he actually was sells the straw and a lot of his starter plants for a lot cheaper than some of the local, more like nationally known nurseries or like hardware stores, you know, like Home Depot and Menards. So he actually was selling them cheaper than those places. So be on the lookout for those kind of things. Another thrifty tip, if you're looking for plants and vegetables and starters and stuff like that, is to, I know where we live, a lot of people have plant sales, kind of like a garage sale, but for plants. And so a lot of times they will sell them for a pretty affordable price, or even sometimes for free, like if they just have to make, sorry guys, the sun changed. They will actually just give them away for free or for like barely nothing. So be on the lookout for those. So a lot of times you can find listings in the newspapers or Craigslist, online. Again, lots of resources. If you are somewhere maybe where you don't have access to those things, and you know you have to go to like a Home Depot, Menards, Bachman's, whatever, we have also done that with some of our, we went to like a Bachman's, and there's reward programs. Be on the lookout for those. I know at Bachman's they have a reward program for however a certain amount of money you spend, you get a reward back. So even if you do have to maybe go to one of those more pricier places, or you know, it's not the same as maybe getting your plants for free, at least there's an option for rewards. So hopefully those tips will help you guys out and get you brainstorming about your garden and giving you some ideas. And if you have any more awesome tips for gardening in general, saving money on gardens, feel free to share them down below. That way we can all share these ideas. So without further ado, let's get into the garden tour. Alright, so here is our first part of our garden. Well, this is actually the main part, and we have a little section for herbs. We did the same area as last year, but we cleared a lot more since this year. We started early, we felt more prepared. Like I said, tip number one is to start early. We had kind of, my husband had more of a plan in mind and what we were going to do. So we definitely got a lot more cleared out. This used to be all weeds here, if you see in last year's video, and we cleared that out, and now there's seeds planted here. There's rhubarb or rhubarb plants. That's also another great tip, is finding plants that come back every year. Like rhubarb, you know, it was actually here when we moved. So but yeah, so here, and there's, again, like I said, we use the straw, like the hay. And it's so helpful because it helps really prevent a lot of the weeds from coming up. Some still do, but I mean, it's really helpful for, you know, keeping them at bay. So here, and I believe we have little radishes here. We have a lot of radishes because those are pretty quick till their harvest time, like when they're ready to be picked. And then my husband planted some sunflowers. They're slowly coming up. These were from seeds, so. Then here we have my peonies, which if you saw, I think in my vlog, they were starting to bloom, and now they're actually like all done being bloomed. But we have all this right here is peonies. So there's like one little one left, but they are all done. They're pretty, kind of a quick time when they're blooming. Okay. So then from this side, if you look, here's the rest of them. We have a lot. A lot of these were starters that we used. So here we have this little area here. They're getting to be pretty big. We have bush beans, so we still have to put up a little sticks and trellis things to let them line up. So we have those. Then we have beets. These were from starters, I believe, as well. My husband got those. I cannot remember what this is here. For the life of me. It's not, I cannot remember what that is. Maybe it's red, no, that's not radishes. I can't remember, maybe it is. Then we have also a lot of cucumbers. We go through a lot of cucumbers. So all this right here is cucumbers. And then we also have, this is broccoli right here. I'll just kind of step into the middle so you guys can see a little bit better. So there's our broccoli. And then we also did tomatoes from starters, just because, like I mentioned, of our climate here, it can be hard to do it from, you know, from seeds right into the ground. I guess we could have done the starters ourselves, but we just didn't this year. And as you can see, there's already some tomatoes there that are going to be hopefully ready soon. And this is the early girl is what it's called, this tomatoes, so it makes sense that they're already like getting, you know, it's already having some fruit on it. And then we also have some cherry tomatoes back there. And like I said, here's a little broccoli. Look, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's already like a little broccoli starting in the middle. And then what my husband did also is he kind of built down a little mound, but I believe this is our squashes over there. This is zucchini. And he kind of left a lot of space this year. We learned kind of the hard way last year is to leave a lot of space for zucchini and squash because they spread out. And so then this right here is our squash, and he did a similar thing too. And then as you can see, we still have one of the bales left over. This is, I think it's like $8 from where we buy it at our local, the one in our city from that gentleman that I mentioned from the tip. So and it's cheaper than what it was like at Bachman's and Home Depot and stuff. So that's what we use for that. And then over here, sorry, are the cherry tomatoes. Whoops. So here are the little cherry tomatoes. And then we also have some carrots, and I forget what else is over here. I cannot remember what this is here. Something. But we have some more radishes and things growing. And then over here we have our gigantically huge chive like bush. It just totally like, it's so big, and these come back every year. So I mean, we should separate them, we can give them away to people too, but we just kind of let them be wild, whatever. So they're there. And then there are our green onions, which actually is crazy. They're the ones from last year. We left them and they actually just came back. We just spread them apart. But yeah, so there's our green onions. And then just all along we have marigolds. It kind of just gives, it looks nice, but it's just a nice little border. But there is pretty much our whole garden. This is the main area, and as you can see, like, it's just looking a lot better compared to last year and how much progress we've made. So, and the great thing about gardening is it's such a learning process. Like every year you learn something new, so it's really cool. And then let me go show you where we have the main part of our herbs, because we just have the chives here and the green onions, but I'll come show you where our herbs are. So this is actually in the front of our house, and we have these just two planters, and we are reusing these from some other plants that we had. So I've been wanting herbs for a while, and last year I didn't really have a chance. So this is what we have this year. I just kind of picked the ones that I use the most in my cooking. Again, pick what you're going to use. So I have some dill here, and then, which is really popular in Ukrainian cooking, so that's why I just love it. Oh, it smells so good. And then we have cilantro here. And then in the back we have this beautiful basil. So it's getting big. And I've been trying to learn more about, you know, ways to upkeep them and prune them, things to help them grow better. But there's the first pot. Let me come show you the second one. And these, again, I just bought these as starters from Bachman's actually. Here is mint. You guys, so good. My favorite has been black English breakfast tea with some honey and fresh mint leaves. It tastes so good. Amazing. Seriously, this mint, and it smells so good. So we have, it's gotten big. So this mint, and then back here we have parsley. Again, I use it a lot for Ukrainian food, but it just smells so good, and it's so easy, honestly. Like, even just having this outside, we've been getting a lot of rain, so they've been easy to maintain. But yeah, this is our herbs this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit of our garden. Let me know down below if you have gardens and how that's been going for you as well. And again, share some tips. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.